Hi everyone, my name is Sergio Sanchez, and thank you for taking the time to view my PowerPoint presentation on e-cigarette use and the emerging prevalence of use amongst adolescents. For some time now, e-cigarette companies have strategically marketed e-cigarettes to adolescents through subliminal ad campaigns featured on social media, television, concerts, and sporting events that are popular amongst adolescents. E-cigarette companies have been able to make unsubstantiated claims to their products without regard to the effect they might have on adolescents. How do they work? Well, e-cigarettes create an aerosol by using a battery to heat up a liquid that is usually self-contained within the device. Users then inhale this aerosol into their lungs. The aerosol is created by heating a liquid through a battery-powered atomizer, and it typically contains nicotine, flavoring ingredients, and solvents. E-cigarettes are also known as e-cigs, vapes, vape pens, electronic nicotine delivery systems, and electronic smoking devices. The 2016 Surgeon General report states that from 2011 to 2015, e-cigarette use amongst high school students overall has increased by 900%. Amongst past 30-day users, which are considered anyone who has used an e-cigarette within the last 30 days, the 2015 National Youth Tobacco Survey reported that approximately 620,000 middle school students and 2,390,000 high school students fell into this category, indicating an increase from the previous year of 450,000 and 2,010,000 respectively. Nicotine in e-liquids and aerosols. Nicotine exposure during adolescence can disrupt brain development and adversely affect cognition. It can also affect an adolescent by making them more susceptible to nicotine addiction. It can affect fetal and postnatal development and potentially cause sudden infant death syndrome. And 3 out of 14 adolescent smokers continue smoking into adulthood, and half of that group will die prematurely. Besides nicotine, as I stated earlier, e-liquids contain solvents, flavorants, and toxicants, and the e-cigarette aerosol can contain dangerous compounds like nicotyrene, formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, acrolein, acetal, glycidol, and diacetyl. The aerosol can also contain heavy metals like nickel, tin, and lead. Accidental ingestion of the e-liquid itself can cause acute toxicity and death. The Truth Initiative conducted an analysis of industry marketing in 2014 and found that 47% of American teens had been exposed to magazine advertisements for e-cigarette products. Additionally, between 2012 and 2013, e-cigarette marketing in magazines that were popular with adolescents was 4 times greater than in magazines that were popular amongst adults. 62% of children aged 12 to 17 years old were exposed to e-cigarette television advertisements. Another estimate cited by the 2016 Surgeon General report showed that 50% of U.S. minors were exposed to 21 different types of e-cigarette advertisements in 2013. And from 2011 to 2013, e-cigarette television advertisement exposure to adolescents increased by 256%. On August 8, 2016, the Food and Drug Administration announced the deeming rule, which allowed them to restrict youth access to e-cigarettes to prevent new e-cigarettes from hitting the market until manufacturers' claims can be reviewed, and require manufacturers to report ingredients of their contents. In the summer of 2018, the FDA did a covert operation to see which online and traditional retailers sold e-cigarette products to children across the country. The FDA's actions found that 1,300 national retailers have sold name brands like Juul, Vuse, Blue, Logic, Mark 10 XL, and other e-cigarette products to youths illegally, which prompted the agency to send warning letters and monetary penalties to these national retailers. In an effort to better understand the appeal that e-cigarettes have on youths, the FDA recently sent requests to various e-cigarette manufacturer companies. And within these letters, they also requested that these companies develop plans to prevent the use of their products by adolescents, and they gave them a deadline of 60 days to comply with this request. One company that is of particular interest to the FDA is Juul Labs, makers of e-cigarette devices and e-liquid packs called Juul Pod cartridges. These cartridges are actually the size of a small USB drive and are very easy to conceal. The company currently has 73% of the e-cigarette market as of 2018, and their popularity has largely been attributed to the sleek design of their e-cigarette devices and the compact design of their liquid pods. So what's next? Well, more research is needed to better understand the health effects of e-cigarettes. A driving principle behind the FDA's efforts and other organizations like them is the precautionary principle. The precautionary principle is when human activities may lead to morally unacceptable harm that is scientifically plausible but uncertain, actions shall be taken to avoid or diminish that harm regardless. As of September 1st, 2018, the FDA has inspected 978,290 retailers, distributed 77,180 warning letters to violating retailers, levied 18,560 financial penalty cases. The FDA issued more than 135 no tobacco sale order complaints, which can potentially remove retailers' ability to sell tobacco products. In conclusion, I wanted to say conventional smoking reached its apex of use here in the United States during the 1960s. Concerted efforts to decrease use resulted in restricted marketing, adding warning labels to cigarette packaging, enacting a total ban on cigarette advertisements on television and radio, and banning all forms of advertising to minors and levying taxes on conventional cigarette tobacco products, and outright prohibiting smoking in public places or designating certain areas as smoking areas. These restrictions led to a continual decline in conventional smoking since the 60s, and it is of my opinion that in order to reverse this current trend, or this current epidemic, I should say, our nation's health organizations should work in earnest to adopt these same policies to e-cigarettes as well. Health organizations are creating websites and other resources for professional health providers and parents to better arm themselves to have meaningful discussions with their patients or their children. The number of children using e-cigarette products is staggering, to say the least. But with concerted efforts by researchers, health organizations, public policymakers, and parents, the health of America's youth can be preserved for generations to come. That has been my presentation. Thank you very much for watching. Listed in the references are a couple of the websites that I referenced in the last slide. Thank you again. Bye-bye.